knowing how to use the clock is the perfect segue into what we're here to talk about today, and it is what is a CrossFit coach. And we're coming from the context of we haven't really started looking yet, but we're starting to plan to look for new coaches, additional coaches, because over the course of the next couple of years, we're going to double and triple our staffing. And so we're kind of going around first to clients, asking them like what they look for in a coach from us, and which we can talk about. But then we're also looking inward. What are the skills that help us be in our minds good coaches, and what are we looking for in people that we eventually bring in. So from your standpoint, not as a client, not as an athlete, but from a coach, what are you looking for, and what do you expect out of yourself when you're on the floor?
So I like to think of it as like, what do people come here for? They come here to either see change, or they're coming to a gym, right? So they're coming to see something happen, or they're being motivated to do something that they can on their own, or be given a download of knowledge that they don't have the time to go out and do, right? So I remember kind of first starting into being coaching, and someone came up to me and was like, why do you know that? Like, you have a wealth of knowledge about fitness stuff. Well, it's kind of my job to know that so that you don't have to. You don't have the time to go out and spend to research all this different fitness knowledge stuff. So that's our job to be able to go out and do that. So I look at it as as far as CrossFit is concerned, or like the CrossFit functional fitness.
Teaching people how to move.
Well, I'm talking more like the class model is concerned. Gotcha. It's like you're a personal trainer to everybody in a group, right? So you're trying to get everybody in a group to move to the best of their ability for that day and receive the best hour of their day, or 30 minutes, or whatever it is that they're coming in to do, and be able to make them better at something every single day.
Right. I like what you said about you being the experts and giving them the information so they don't have to go do that work on their own. You come in and do the hard work in the gym, but I think I'm like a plumber. Could I, fix a wax seal on a toilet? Yeah. Could I do it fast?
No.
Could I do it well? How many YouTube videos would I have to watch? Do I have the right wrench to, loosen the pipe up? Maybe I could make it work, but I would use a tremendous amount of time that is not my specialty. And I think the same way about that coach is like, you're going and doing all the research. Mm-hmm. Like, you're doing all the work for them so that when they come in, to your point, they get that best hour.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You're making it more efficient. So you said they came in with a goal of something that they're trying to get to. You're trying to help them. You've made a lot of the mistakes on your own. You've tried and gone down different alleys. We're trying to help our clients make a linear progression from 1 to 10.
Instead of being up in here, we're trying to minimize the mistakes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
but I think one thing like to note for like coaches coming in on that, like different coaches or new coaches, it's like the fitness industry is ever evolving. I've heard this, Ross Edgley, he has this thing where it's like, it's a open face or top pyramid with no point to it. That's because it's constantly evolving.
Nothing to reach. Yeah.
There's nothing to reach because it's always changing. So it's not just something where you're like, all right, I learned this and now I'm good.
It's not fixed.
No, it's not fixed. Now, because you have multiple people with multitude of different goals, and just like how nutrition isn't the same for every single person, same goes for goals and fitness-wise, and like just being able to come in, you have to be constantly learning.
Well, and I think that the thing that's exciting about us, at least our job, and that maybe this is another trait, is you'll never get it. Like, you'll never master it.
No.
Because the methodologies will continue to change, and that's what's exciting to us about CrossFit is all we are governed by is what works. Mm-hmm. If you're able to increase work capacity across broad time, modal domains, and age, it doesn't matter what you're doing.
No.
So we'll, people, we've talked about this, in the past. It's been a long time, actually. Is it a fad? Well, if we continue to get results, you can't have a fad. It's just, we're going to continue to chase down whatever works best. So that's kind of, something that you're looking for, somebody who's not going to have a fixed mindset. Mm-hmm. It's a total growth mindset industry.
Oh my gosh, it has to be.
Because if you fix on something and you lock in and you think this is the only way, you're going to be left in the dust.
Oh, 100%. And like, especially if you think, hey, my way is the only way. Like,
no way.
No, it's really not. Like, and it can be changing. Now there are some, grand principles that have, stood the test of time that you can hang on to and apply in multitudes of different areas. But I guess even going back into that, like, this is like a principles principal's job. Like if you can lock onto principles, you can apply them into multiple different areas. But if you're trying to like say, nope, this is the way it has been, and I can't ever change, then you're in the wrong place.
So that's from our perspective, and talking to clients lately, in our ambassador group lately about what are they looking for out of a coach, and the first thing, I know we talked about this the other day, the first thing they say, they don't say, I want somebody who can snatch their body weight. I want somebody who can do a Fran in 3 minutes. They don't care about physical ability. They want relatability. Mm-hmm. They want somebody that they can talk to.
Yeah.
And so when you think about being like a fitness professional, it's not what you can do on the floor. That's all great. And you've got to be able to walk the walk a little bit. I mean, a good amount.
Oh, yeah.
But you need to be able to relate to people because you need to meet them where they are. You have somebody coming in at a 1 or a 2, had a baby, had my last kid 7 years ago, haven't worked out, and I had 3 kids, so it's been 10 years since I did any sort of fitness. You got to meet them where they are.
Oh, 100%.
And if you can't relate to that because you're all concerned about your 3-minute Fran,
then
you're not. It doesn't matter how much information you know if you can't relate.
No, and as much as this is a fitness industry, we are a communications job.
Yeah.
Like you have to be able to empathize with people. You have to be able to, like you said, communicate and relate with people as much as possible. One book I try and read this a couple times a year, or I listen to books more than I read them. Consume the book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have had that book back when I was in high school, or any other time in my life.
You hear that? Charlie's running our mixer right now, and he needs to make sure he's reading that book.
Read that book.
It should be required reading.
It should in high schools. I don't know why it's not, but it's like. That sheer fact of being able to talk to anybody, be anything to anybody at all times is crucial, right? But you have to be, I think it's even more important to be able to be empathetic. Like, be able to say, I feel you. I understand.
This is hard.
It is hard, right? I'm not going to be like, you suck at life.
Pick it up.
Let's go. Now, I may do that to try and, motivate you. No, hey, you can do this, but it's where you're at in that moment.
So that's where, we talk about, I don't want to say bottom of the barrel, but somebody who's not in top shape. You need to meet them where they are, but then you have somebody who is in top shape. You might need to stoke the bear a little bit.
Yeah. And
say, hey, what are you doing? Like, pick it up, or get an extra rep, or try to keep up with so and so. So, it's all about relating to wherever that person is at that point in time, and being able to encourage them in the appropriate manner.
Yeah, being able to build rapport, and I almost want to say like create. I'm trying to think of the word. I want to say like intrigue in them wanting to ask you questions, right? So I know we already said that you don't have to. It's not about the high numbers in the gym, right? It's not about your Fran time or something like that. But if you're not walking the walk as a coach, then I look at it as one time, long time ago, I dropped in at a 24-hour fitness. This is like long time ago. And they said, hey, you can do, I said drop in. I joined 24-hour fitness. And they're like, hey, you can do a free one-on-one session with a personal trainer. And I was like, oh, sweet, let's just give it a try, see what it's like. And the lady that I had, she knew a ton of stuff. But she didn't look like she knew the stuff that
Or she wasn't practicing it.
Right? And it came back to charging like, I want to say, it was like $1,100 over the course of the month for all these personal training sessions. I was like, are you kidding me? I can't do that.
You can't justify it.
No, right? But I think about it in other terms. Back when I was in the Navy, I had a personal trainer guy who was jacked. Like he was, short, stocky dude, just jacked. And he charged $90 for the half an hour, right? But I could justify that because I was like, oh.
Because he had what you were going for.
He had what I was going for. And not everybody's going to be going for what I look like per se, but at least I can I can say I practice what I'm trying to preach, so then people can come and feel free to ask questions.
Right. Yes, and so you had a kind of backtracking a little bit, like going back to the How to Win Friends and Influence People. The biggest thing that we look for is one, relatability, and two, being able to meet that person on their level. But I was talking to a parent of a. It's talking to a guy who's a leader in a company who's a client, and his kid is interested in CrossFit and like as a potential career. And I was saying to him, so how to Win Friends, Influence People is an opportunity when you're young is to, get people to like you. Well, as you mature in your career, you're going to spend more time in front of bigger groups. And I was saying to him, in what other career can you find yourself in front of a group of 20 people who are more senior than you, who are, more established than you, who are required to listen, not required to, but you're earning their confidence. And what a skill set from a communication standpoint to develop. So, when we're talking about being relatable and being a good communicator, a big part of what we do is presentation, is being able to get a group, to direct and lead a group. And I can't think of many other professions where you get to practice public speaking on such an intense daily basis.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's
A varying group, it's not like you're running a team of 5 people who all work for the same company and all understand,
exactly
exactly what we're doing, where we're going. No, like, you got a bum knee, you can't run, you just started, you've been with us for 6 years, you're herding cats, but how do you deliver a consistent message so that everybody has a good experience?
Yeah.
Like,
practice.
wow.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's multiple classes throughout the day.
Right.
So you could be seeing, at a larger facility, you could be seeing 100 to 150 people a day
that you are responsible for in that day.
That you're responsible for, that they are looking to you for guidance. So you're a leader of 150 people every single day.
And that's not only guiding the workout, that's guiding the general discussion. That's the jokes. That's making sure there's some element of humor, making sure you're communicating what we're doing in the gym. There's a lot of stuff going on around here.
Oh my gosh!
And making sure that birthdays and anniversaries are communicated, and we celebrate the people that we have. So it's not just like following that list. It is a pretty comprehensive, communication task, if you will.
Yeah. And to know, you mentioned this earlier when we were upstairs, knowing that, and to Charlie too, you're not always going to be perfect at everything.
No, right.
Right. So
but what do you do with it?
That's the best thing. So, like, say you have multiple classes. So this any coach that's trying to be a better coach, right? So you have multiple classes.
Is your second class? Yeah, right.
If your second class is exactly the same as your first class, unless you crush that first class, you best be changing something up, right?
Or look for a different
Or
career.
yeah. If your every class just runs exactly the same, unless you're crushing it, and like, all right, I got this on lock.
Have you ever done that?
No.
Okay.
No, I have not, and that's why I was about to say, like, I screw this up constantly, like,
Yeah.
but it's like, all right, I took
Who
this
calls you out on it?
myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And we're all about critiquing each other. So another bit or a bullet point is self-critique. Mm-hmm. Can you and constructive criticism from peers?
Be vulnerable. Yeah.
Like, hey, what did I do wrong? Don't come up to me and tell me what I did right in that class. Not like that's not what we're after. Is like,
No.
what do I need to improve? And you need to be able to do that yourself.
Yeah. Be vulnerable and be willing to look at yourself and like to make yourself better for the clients. If you're not trying to make yourself better, how are you going to make everybody else better? So it's like, we're here trying to develop big groups. Like, the whole purpose of getting into like this area is to make people better people, right? We're not in it. I mean, we're in it just for the people.
And,
right?
and here's a dirty secret is so you, the coach, are here to help others get better. What happens to you? Like,
What?
you have to get better.
Oh, you have to get better.
Like, there are eyes on you. There are
Yeah.
expectations on you. And there are times where I don't want to work out, or, I'll think about it like when I'm at Chipotle. Like, is somebody going to walk up and see that I'm dominating a big burrito? That keeps me, that protects me.
Yeah. Oh, heck
So like
yeah.
so in as much as like we're helping all of our clients, they really help us kind of stay
the straight and
stay
narrow.
in line.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So-
yeah, because you can get out of shape as a coach.
Totally.
That's, I mean,
Because you just take on more hours, you take on more classes, and
and then next thing you know, you're tired of seeing the workout every day, and then you don't want to work out.
well, you spend 8 or 10 hours in the gym that day, and that in a lot of ways kind of checks the box of working out. Mm-hmm. I was at the gym, done. So it's hard to kind of sometimes separate yourself and make sure that you're getting your fitness also.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'd like to say for coaches out there to try and recognize this potentially is, like, I love CrossFit in a group, most definitely. However, be willing to like know yourself and your personality to the point where you don't get lost in, well, I'm not working out anymore. I can't figure out why I can't figure out in the group. For me, I'm around people so much, and I know I'm kind of like,
you go solo.
I need to go solo just to be in my own creative brain. Sometimes I am the best coach I can be when I'm working out on my own,
Yeah.
Because people are like, where did you get that from? Oh, it came from the garage because that's where I
was just messing
I
around.
was just messing around and trying to figure it out. So you have to be willing to note that and like, okay, what makes you the best version of a coach possible so you can make the people the best version of themselves possible.
Yeah.
If you don't ask those questions, then you'll never find them.
Yeah, I get that. So I like to work out with the groups, and I do my creative thinking like on the weekends by myself when I'm away. So like I get all those ideas when it's kind of solo time. But you have to you do spend a lot of time around a lot of people.
Yeah.
And depending on I'm kind of a introverted or a
Introverted,
extrovert. I'm
extrovert.
an extroverted introvert. You're an extroverted
You just said the same thing. Introverted, extrovert.
whatever you are.
I'm something.
Yeah, you're something. So I cherish my alone time. Like absolutely crave it. I do well with people though.
Yeah.
Like I can handle. Yeah,
So you'd be an introverted extrovert,
correct.
and I'm an extroverted introvert.
There you go.
Yeah. Like I'll get more energy as the morning progresses.
Sure.
Because of the more people I'm around.
And I need a moment.
Yeah.
So I can go maybe 3-4 hours in a row, and then I need some time, and that's where I need a break free. So I think my point of saying that is understand who you are.
Yes.
And where you need your breaks. If you're gonna be good in this industry, you've got to bring energy. You can't show up and just go to work.
Correct.
It's you gotta be your best self, and that is. I mean, we're throwing a whole bunch of things out there, but that's
Well, that's.
kind of
I
a
mean,
standard.
you are literally putting on a performance 8 to 10 hours a day,
right.
potentially, right?
Yeah.
And if you are not careful or made aware of it in the beginning, you can burn out. A
Yeah.
lot of coaches will burn out and be like, "Man, is it really worth it?"
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing it day in and day out.
And I think, do you remember when you first started your voice?
Gone.
It didn't last.
No.
It would like burn up after like 3 hours or 4 hours in a row.
Yeah.
I don't think we could turn the music down at that point though.
No,
too.
that was where you just yelled over
You
everything.
held. So you will build endurance, and you will build stamina on your feet. You spend a lot of time on your feet, and that is something to get used to for a lot of people. Is can you stay, on your feet like all the hours of the day?
Yeah. Think about it I always laugh about the Whoop thing. Like, oh, you burned 7,000 calories today. And I'd be like, there's no way this is possible, right? But then days that I don't coach, it's down to whatever it may be, whatever. But think about this. If you, and you'd be a crazy person, walked for 5 miles and just randomly yelled at random times. Just go walk around and just like randomly.
And then talk while you're not yelling.
Yeah, talk while you're not yelling. And then just randomly yell something as loud as you can. And then keep on walking. And then do a squat here and there. And then do like a
Demo
push-up.
burpee. Do a couple pull-ups.
Yeah, do 5-6 miles like that, and tell me how you feel afterwards.
Right.
But you got to yell something. Just all out yell it.
There's a tremendous amount of volume, but it's I think what I'd finish up with, it's so rewarding.
Oh, very rewarding.
The challenges are awesome. They all the challenges make you a better person, make you a better communicator. Are going to make you fitter. They're going to hold you accountable. But at the end of the day, you get to see light bulbs go off, and you get to see people day after day. We joke, but I actually don't joke. Like we get to make like big changes in people's lives more so than like a doctor would.
Yeah.
You see the doctor once a year. We get to see you 3 or 4 times a week.
Sometimes even more.
Sometimes, yeah, and we get to see you lose 20 pounds, several pant sizes. We get to see you look younger. We get to see all these things happen, and that is just, that's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's like seeing those wheels turn. It's just incredibly powerful.
I said this in the beginning, but it's very true. You got to come into this industry with the goal to help as many people as possible. If you're coming in it solely for money, you might want to change
or anything.
Anything.
You come in here or anywhere else just for money, it's an illusion.
Yeah, it is an illusion. But like specifically with like being a coach, and I know I've seen different podcasts talk about this too, but you have to come in with the sole goal of how many people can you possibly help. Yeah. Like that's our goal as CrossFit is like, as 2020 Fit and just being, a CrossFit coach, how many people can we possibly help?
And it's the way I look at it is a responsibility that we have. Like we have this satchel of tools that work and they work incredibly well. And if we keep them all to ourselves, and
you don't help
and we're not doing what we're responsible to do, which is to help as many people as possible. So that's kind of our thinking about what it what it takes to be a good, maybe great. I don't know if I want to say great because I don't know if anybody's great yet.
You can always get
We
better.
got a long way to work, and having that growth mindset is pretty darn important. Knowing that you are vulnerable, knowing that you are not your best, and that you can continue to work. But if you have that, the drive to improve every day, and change some lives, it's a heck of a place to spend your day. And I consider us super lucky to get to do it. So those are our thoughts on what it takes to be a great CrossFit coach. And until next time, we'll see you guys soon.